Prashant, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule here at Disrupt to sit down with Moen and I to talk about the future of VDI from a CTO perspective. So to first, to kind of lay the groundwork, maybe why don't you tell us a bit about yourself, your role to becoming a CTO, and just a bit about what your day-to-day life looks like in terms of running the operation.
Yeah. First of all, pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. It's great to talk to you guys and be part of the conference. So amazing to be here. Look, I've been in the CTO role for about 3 years now at Corel, now Alludo. I have held most of my life, I've spent time in the product and engineering organizations. I've spent time at Microsoft, first in the Office product team, then part of the Azure product team early on from 2007 to 2012. Very familiar with public cloud infrastructure buildouts. I've also spent time at Oracle. Most of my background is in infrastructure technology and space, both on the server side, hyperscaler side, as well as on the edge side. So this role is a kind of a natural progression of that journey of various product journeys that I've had at companies big and small. In my role here, I oversee all of our product development operations across our product lines. As you know, we are a KKR owned company. Parallels is obviously one of our largest product lines and our fastest growing product lines within that portfolio. But we also own product assets like CorelDRAW, WinZip, and Mind Manager that primarily cater to applications for knowledge workers. I run a fairly large distributed engineering team that is spread across the globe in North America, in Europe, in Asia, and even now in East Africa, in Mauritius.
Wow.
So one thing, Prashant, that always gets customer really confused is Alludo, Parallel, Wingu, Corel. What is the structure? Like when if someone wants to, so when we talk about a Magic Quadrant, for example, Alludo is there, but people are looking for Parallel, or they are looking for Corel.
Yes.
So how do you, is this something that is done purposely, or it was just carry on?
Yeah,
over
I
time?
think I think it's a great question, right? Fundamentally, look, we are a classic private equity portfolio company. Within our product lines, which is CorelDRAW, Parallels, WinZip, and Mind Manager, there are no real product synergies per se. So the Alludo branding exercise that we went through is primarily an exercise to have a holding brand or name, not necessarily to alter product names or product directions or product entities, right? If you do take a step back outside, and there is a context in the industry, open text and other companies that have a similar construct where they don't have synergistic products necessarily that are bound together by a holding entity or a holding brand name. You should think about Alludo in the context similarly to that construct. Fundamentally, if you take a step back though from there, we are in two businesses, right? This is at least how I used to describe. We are in a technology business where we primarily cater to end user computing, virtual client computing technologies in the infrastructure area. Parallels is our only and largest brand in that area. Of course, there are discrete products within the Parallels portfolio, but they are all accruing towards the end user computing, virtual client computing space. WinZip, CorelDRAW, and Mind Manager are primarily productivity and information worker tools that cater to knowledge workers, primarily apps. So fundamentally in the tech business and the apps business, the apps is largely kind of synergistic, at least because of the type of persona we sell to. And the Parallels portfolio within our product lines is highly synergistic too, because as you know, we are primarily selling into the IT departments of the world at corporations large and small.
So, I'm sorry, Moen. Just get about the Parallels portfolio for a second. Then we always hear about the future of VDI, the year of VDI.
Yes.
Was it that in 1990? Was it in 2005? Are we having a year of VDI right now, or is it still to come?
Look, I think this industry is going through a massive transformation, right? If you fundamentally take a step back to about 20 years ago, VDI, desktop as a service, end user computing is not a new technology area. But if you think about the time when VDI and UC became relevant or became an industry category, it was the age of primarily data centers and Intel and Windows-based client machines, largely. And the workforce also was comprised largely of people who would show up to centers of work. It could be a call center, it could be an IT facility. If you're working at a bank, if you're working at a large product software company like a Microsoft or an Oracle, you would show up in Redmond or Redwood Shores, depending on where you were, right? So it was all designed around this construct of Intel-based Windows machines, primarily on the edge, servers that were also Intel-based and Intel chip-based, and a workforce that was largely showing up into a center to work. A lot has changed in the last 20 years, as all of us know, across each of these pillars, right? You have hyperscalers now available. So it's no longer just about a private data center, it's about public and private data centers. The workforce is largely distributed. People are working from home, people are working remotely. That has provided a lot of freedom. So this concept of a center has kind of disappeared for the worker. And the silicon, so to speak, in the hardware itself has gone through a massive transformation, both on the edge side, which is the clients, mobile, PCs, Mac machines, as well as on the server side, right, with AMD and ARM-based processors gaining dominance. So as enterprises now think about the experiences that they want to provide to their users, to their developers, you have to fundamentally reimagine the construct across all of these parameters, across at the edge, at the server, and in the data center on the hyperscaler. So I do think that the brightest days of the virtual client computing and end user computing market, because of these secular transformations that are occurring in the market landscape, are yet to come. And AI is now the fourth generational shift that is occurring. So I think it's the brightest days of EUC, VCC are still ahead of us.
Okay. And to follow up on that question, you mentioned a couple things about your remote team. You guys are spread all over the world. Where do you stand on, kind of coming out of COVID, where everybody went home, we all went back to offices, and we went home again? Where do you stand on the whole work from anywhere? Are you more of a traditional work in an office, or you prefer to work hybrid? Or what do you think the future looks like?
Look, I think every enterprise context is different, right? What I would say is that this is from my vantage point as the CTO and running, about a 350-person engineering team that is globally distributed. I think certain operational efficiencies has to be had by having centers of gravity or concentration of location, right? So work from anywhere is a construct that may or may not work depending on the enterprise that you are in. Having the flexibility to be remote has been a flexibility that many of us who are in the technology industry that have been fortunate to have that. I used to work at Sun Microsystems back in 2001. I could work from home back then as well. So fundamentally, that has not changed, and I think it will not change. The flexibility certainly will continue to persist. Enterprises have to evaluate what makes sense in their business construct and their financial construct on how they want to find the right setup and the right structure for where they want their employees to be, where they want their contractors to be, how do they serve the customers that they are serving, so therefore where do they want their go-to-market teams to be. So I think it's still evolving, right? So I think there's no one size fits all, if that's an appropriate answer.
100%.
Yeah.
So one question that I have, Prashant, when on backing up on what Barry just asked, parallel RAS is new, and everywhere we go and talk, there's a new thing.
Yes.
But it is not new. It
That's
has been, people have been using
That's
parallel for Mac for ages. It's like a multi-million dollar business for you.
Yes.
Why did it take that long to come out of, you already had a tech, you already have a solution, you already have a user. So why did it take that long to come out that I have a tech, that I'm presenting it and scaling it to a size that you're already scaling it to a capacity that no one can even imagine?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. Perhaps it's the best kept secret inside of the company that we haven't pushed as hard as we needed to push in terms of brand awareness and product awareness in the marketplace. Parallels is a relatively new brand when people hear about it.
Yep.
But to your point, just to further double down on the point, we just shipped version 19.4 of the RAS release. We will ship Parallels Desktop 20 in September. So these are not, as you say, new products. They've been around for more than a decade now. But we haven't pushed, right? We have tried to, as we built out the product set and the feature set, we've moved up segment over a period of time. We started with small business. We are now catering to lower mid-market and moving more and more into the enterprise segment. As the product has matured, the stability has matured around the product. Look, I mean, this market category was largely created by Citrix. We all know that. We stand on the shoulders of giants, right? But we do believe that the vision for the future that Citrix has, VMware has, and we have is kind of a little bit different, right? We see our opportunity here and now because we see this reimagination of how customers are coming to this transformation journey in the context of the broader data center transformation that they're going through. So yeah, we need to do a better job at marketing. Maybe I should talk to my marketing guys to push more around how we make the brand more aware, how RAS is made more aware in the marketplace. But we are starting to see we are putting in a lot of effort. We're putting in a lot of incremental dollars. We're working with partners such as yourself to get our products out into your book of business as well as in front of more and more customers. We plan to lean in more. And I think like it's a collective journey of how we will create awareness, right? Like for sure, more wins that we get in the marketplace with customers who are migrating and starting to look at these solutions will further help the brand story.
So, because you come from a technical background, let me ask one level down the same question. So now you are already scaling to that level on
Yes.
The code base with Parallel on Mac.
Yes.
Now, what assurance we can give to our customers that this product is not one person or a consumer product? Behind the scene, it is running those number of desktops that we are presenting. This is running on a technology which we are saying that, okay, now we will take this tech and we will give it to you. But always comes down to that we are focusing on SMB business, but in reality, you have entire enterprise running behind the scene for Mac.
Yes.
So how does that translate
Look,
in terms of?
I would say that the technical capability of the product itself, right? Like there's a fundamental aspect of the product truth across the desktop, the server product that we have now with the desktop as a service offering, which is a version 1 of the product, but nonetheless a cloud offering that is an analogous product to our remote application server product. The Parallels browser isolation product that we've launched, which is a full-blown SaaS service that caters to SaaS-y kind of scenarios. We believe that we have all the ingredients of the platform that a customer can pick and choose from depending on what use case they want to run around the end user computing space. Number one. Number two, what I tell you is that this is a large product line for us across these aspects of the business that I just talked about. It is our fastest growing product line. It is the place where we are making maximum number of investments, right? Both in terms of headcount as well as in terms of dollars, R&D as well as go to market to drive some of the demand creation activities that are there. And we are starting to win in the marketplace against in these enterprise context where we are going on head to head against the likes of VMware, RDS, Citrix, with large customers. We are talking about 5,000 seats, 10,000 seats, 35,000 seats, particularly in the healthcare space, in the financial services space, where we see traction around the hybrid story, that we are not just a cloud only solution or a desktop only solution or a server only solution, but have this optionality that these customers love the choice that we bring to them around. I like to define this as a control plane that we run across various form factors. And that story and that technology is finding resonance. It is not an accident that when Microsoft and Apple decide to certify Windows being certified as a virtualization solution to be run on Apple Silicon, that they choose a company like us and not somebody else, right? Because of the years of IP and years of deep work that has gone in around the performance, around the security, around the scalability, around the availability across our product lines, desktop, server, cloud, and beyond.
So do you think in next 5 to 10 years, your RAS business is going to push parallel for desktop behind?
Look, here's what I see when I where we started, which is where we see this transformation in the industry, right? More and more CIOs and CTOs that I talk to, I'm sure you talk as well to many of these customers, as they are looking at end user computing and virtual client computing solutions, especially if they're coming from a migration perspective, where they already have a solution that they have implemented 10 years ago or 15 years ago. I think to a lot of these CIOs, when they are undertaking this migration, remember this is an infrastructure migration, not to be taken lightly, as all of us know who spend time in this industry, that infrastructure migrations of any sort are not easy to do. If it is a simple straight up migration of where they were to just a new provider, whether it's Parallels or VMware or WorkSpot or anybody else, I think it's not interesting for the CIO and the CTO. What is interesting is they are starting to say, hey, look, the world has changed. The workforce has changed. The silicon power has changed on the desktop as well as on the server on the cloud. The applications that I'm running or I'm needing to provide to my employees, to my partners and customers, they have changed because you have bespoke applications, you have custom applications, you have Win32 applications, you also have modern SaaS apps that, like Salesforce and Workday. So as I'm imagining this transformation, I should look at what um, uh, construct point provides me the best experience from a configuration standpoint, from a manageability standpoint, as well as from a usability standpoint, depending on the user that I am at, right? So we talk to customers today who are actually migrating from server side solutions to Parallels desktop for specific use cases, because GPUs are expensive in the cloud, or latency is not optimal when you're running something server side, or the application itself is fundamentally different, or I have a bunch of contractors that I need to provide access to a particular application, and they have all this latent graphics and computing capacity that is available on their desktop. It's much easier for me to serve that from the desktop itself than having to rely on an expensive data center delivery, i.e., a server side delivery or a cloud side delivery. And so they're adopting Parallels desktop. So, what I do believe, right, where we have a fundamental unique differentiator in the marketplace, is we are the only player in the market that has this complete set of ingredients across at the edge, which is the Parallels desktop product, the server, which is the remote application server product, cloud, which is the desktop as a service offering, and then PBI, which is our SASE offering. All of the work that we are doing in our product roadmap, to your point around, it's on version 20, etc., is about integrating this platform so that an CIO and an IT administrator can configure, can set up, can manage the user and the application from a single console.
Okay.
Whether it's they're running the application on the desktop, i.e. Parallels desktop, or they're running it on RAS, which is remote application server, or they're feeding it off from the desktop as a service. So I think the brightest days of the Parallels desktop product are also ahead of it.
I'd love to get your thoughts on, go back to the future of VDI here for a second, your thoughts on how emerging technologies such as AI, VR, AR are going to impact VDI in the coming years, or even within the Parallels product line.
Yeah, I think, look, AI is still in its early days, right? But in the end, I do think that eventually AI will make its way into the IT workflow. It is going to take time because it's still, we are on very, very early days of AI adoption, right? So people are doing AI mostly, I would say, on the edge. It still has massive adoption, massive TAM. So I think IT, as it evolves, building out the new IT infrastructure for VCC, EUC scenarios, they are also going to have to think about how AI plays a role in how do I set up, how do I configure, are there tools to assist with the setup and the configuration of these environments, access to users, access to applications, etc. So I think, look, this is why I say there are multiple secular factors that are at play. here in the market landscape, not just within the EUC VDI industry per se, but overall. That I do believe for partners like yourself, for us as technology providers, the technology itself, the brightest days are still ahead.
Yeah. So, sorry, coming back on the product itself, we talked about executives not knowing more about that we are going to address through marketing and other things on brand awareness. One of the things that I always get when I talk to sysadmin or people who are using it, that yes, we talk about product that is capable of doing many things, but when you look at the UI looks like it is 15-year-old.
Yes.
So, is there anything in the roadmap?
Absolutely.
That
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
This is our biggest push area around modernizing the UI. And as part of the modernization of the UI, one of the things we are doing is we are trying to bring cohesiveness and consistency across UI. Back to the platform vision and the platform pitch that I talked about, it is also would not augur well if we had an UI that looked different for the Parallels desktop product versus it looked different for the remote application server product if it looked different for PBI. So yes, there is a big push in the upcoming releases. You will see more and more iteratively us modernizing the UI.
So this will be a universal studio or a platform where it can manage different workflows.
We want a unified UI. Absolutely.
UI. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Now, talking about UI, the next thing is someone like exposing it to other vendors. So I know you guys just integrated with the iGel.
Yes.
Now, what about opening it up for someone like Control App and Remo 3 on app packaging and those kind of?
Absolutely. Look, I think one of the other areas you made a point earlier about, hey, we are not a well-known brand and we haven't marketed well. I think one of the other areas where we need to do a better job and we're pushing very hard is around what I would call third-party integrations, particularly technology integrations with partners. So I think we need to do, we already partner with Control Up, but there are a variety of solutions and vendors, because look, as customers think about this EUC VDI solutions in the marketplace, as you very well know, we are one piece of the Lego block, right? They are looking for a monitoring solution, they're looking for a security solution that plays with it. We have a lot of integrations in place today. We support multiple hypervisors on our remote application server product today. So we are not tied just to ESX or just to Nutanix or just to Hyper-V. We support all those because we recognize that customers out there have a variety of heterogeneous environments and heterogeneous technology choices, both deep within the stack at the hypervisor layer, as well as at the edge where they are connecting to monitoring tools like Control App. So we are pushing very hard around those areas. We are always open to hearing feedback on integrations that we should accelerate and prioritize on our roadmap. And we are completely committed to this idea of bringing this holistic solution together to the marketplace, because we realize what the customer ultimately wants is this end-to-end solution, and they want these east-west, north-south integrations between other providers that are out there in the marketplace.
And that includes ServiceNow. Is this something that's your focus area as well?
Yeah, ServiceNow is one of the, actually, interestingly enough, right now we are evaluating integration with ServiceNow and what we can do more. We have some integration today. We don't have deep integrations today like we do with, say, Control App or some of the other providers. Like we have deep integration into Azure Virtual Desktop, for example, with Microsoft. We don't have that deep a level of integration today with ServiceNow, but we are actively exploring at this point in time, integrations in that area as well.
So one more thing, and this is a bit controversial. So, so you talked about big boys trying to always keep the product that is more emerging and more upcoming down. Now, this is something that they're realizing now, that you don't need to break into different SKUs. You don't need to have 30, 40 SKUs to sell a product. Parallel has always been one solution that comes with MFA, it comes with SSO, it comes with different integration. And that's where big boys are going now, where they're saying that, okay, let me just club everything together because it's a value selling. So is this something that you guys thought about it way advanced that we want to make our customers' life easy?
Yeah, look, I think fundamentally, right, this has been largely influenced when I came on board 3 years ago, right? One of the things that we focused heavily on was to not complicate the buying decision for the customer, right? Because they already have a lot of moving pieces that they need to think about. Licensing is something certainly that we didn't want them to spend too much time thinking about. So simplifying just not just the commercial licensing construct, but also simplifying how it worked within the product was a key push and an impetus area for us from a technology and a product perspective. We do not plan to change that. We believe like we are on to something. I've always believed that our product vision needs to be mapped to a commercial construct that makes sense. The commercial construct in our mind around a platform offering makes sense. We want to keep it as simple as possible. As we further unify the story and unify some of these other ingredients around the product between Parallels Desktop, RAS, and PBR, you will see us drive with the same level of rigor and discipline, this simplified licensing construct for our customers, so that they're buying into the Parallels platform versus choosing, hey, am I doing a PD construct versus a server construct versus a cloud construct. It is something that I learned at Microsoft when we did Azure. As you know, right, this is a construct that we had in Azure as well. We replicated that in Oracle, and I think it works really well in the enterprise IT context because it simplifies the decision making for the IT buyer, the decision maker, as well as the procurement divisions within those companies.
Yeah, the best thing that I like about the product is one is licensing, that is simple model. The second is uh, now everyone is moving towards a user device, and which is more backward thinking that okay, I'm going back because user device is cheaper.
Yes.
So I can show the numbers small by just going user device versus concurrent, and that's something that Parallel has done a great job
That's
in
right.
keeping this concurrent license and bundling everything together in one SKU.
That's right. And we love the concurrent user model because I think it is more grounded with how customers typically use these solutions in their environment. So I think the core is we want to stay grounded on what the customer need is, what is the customer pain point, what are these use cases that they're trying to really solve. Build a product and a technology offering that is in line with what our customers need. And then also have a commercial construct around it that makes sense, that makes this buying decision for the customer much simpler at the time of procurement, but also at the time of renewal and management in general. So yes, we love the concurrent user model.
So, the three of us are technical folks, so it'd be a shame if we didn't ask you at least one technical question. So I'd love to understand, how you would give an elevator pitch for an existing big boy customer that you would have. What? Sell me on Parallels, RAS, instead of one of the big boys, if you would, please. And at a technical level, it's not a marketing or a sales. So,
at a technical level, look, fundamentally, I think we are the only product that is in the market that has multiple hypervisor support. We are an open source, open platform offering. So you as a customer have choices on types of hypervisor technology that you could use. We are a very, very mature product to the point, and the simplified licensing and management construct puts us both technically as well as commercially in a space where your total cost of ownership is extremely attractive as you think about migrating from whatever solution you have, or if it is the first time you're going into the VDI UC space, then this is the most appropriate solution for you to have in your environment.
Yeah, and more on upward thinking as well. So things like secure browser, having your workload running into different workload, running in cloud, running on-prem, running with a different multi-factor authentication, or having your own load balancer. All those things, it just simplifies the whole thing.
Yeah, and what sold me on it the first time I saw it was exactly your point, the architecture. I'm like, well, now I need the load balancer, now I need gateway services. What do you mean it's included? It's not included. Of course, it is.
Everything is
It's
included.
all included.
And look, I think one of the things we pay very close attention further is future proofing the customer's investment. We do not want them to be investing on a dead end platform, as I call it, right? And the fact that we are investing at the edge, which is the Parallels Desktop product, but also investing all the way at the other end of the spectrum with PBI, is proof that we are not like a one-trick pony that is only focused on the edge, or
Yep,
only focused on the server, or only focused on the cloud, or only focused on modern apps, right? We ultimately do truly believe that the customer is buying a platform, and that's where the EUC VDI space is evolving to.
Mhm.
We are the only player in the market that has that
Mhm.
under one umbrella portfolio, including the big boys.
The big boys. Yeah.
So we love that differentiation about us.
That cannot separate hypervisor with the product.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
There you go.
We won't name any names, but
Yes,
yeah.
that's right.
To kind of round things out, I know you have a busy day, but I'd love to maybe if you can give some advice to the up and coming people joining our industry. To what would it take for someone out of college today to become a CTO of a major company like Parallels?
Look, I always, I'm an engineer at heart, so I always say that one of the things that drives is be curious, right? Like if I were to leave anybody with one advice, is be curious. Be curious about what is the customer doing with your product, how are they using the product, what are their pain points, and be constantly on that journey to seek to understand what that customer wants to do. Don't build products for the sake of building products, but build products for the sake of solving and creating an impact in the customer environment. And if you stay true to that grounding around being super obsessed about the market and obsessed about what the customer wants to do and are inherently curious, which most engineers
Yeah.
tend to be, you're already on the right path. If I were to give one lasting advice, that would be it. And that's the advice I give my kids who are in school today. It's the advice I would give to anybody who is in any technical pipe, whether they're in an engineering school or pursuing computer science through an arts and science degree, whatever. But fundamentally in the technical pipe, be curious, be hungry, and be passionate and obsessive about what the customer wants to do with your product.
Yeah, absolutely. Do what you love, and if you do things that you love, obviously it will make your life easy and people around
What's
you.
that saying? You do something you love, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, Prashant, listen, thank you from behalf of XenTegra. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to chat with us about the future of VDI.
I have one parting question for you to. Barry asked about message that you want to give it to, or selling message that you want to give it to sysadmins. If you have to give a message to decision makers and C-level executives on the product, that why they should take this product seriously, what will that be?
Look, we are a mature company that is growing rapidly with deep investment in this area. We have a complete portfolio across desktop, server, cloud.
Mm-hmm.
And in this market where the market is evolving rapidly, decision makers have the opportunity to look with a fresh set of eyes how they tackle the user and the developer use cases that they have in their environment. And we believe we have all the ingredients in our product from a technology perspective, from a product perspective, as well as from a commercial offering perspective, to be the most compelling offering that is out there in the marketplace today.
Without breaking your bank.
Without breaking
Yes,
your bank.
very important.
Without breaking your bank.
Yeah. All right, Prashant, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to talk to you. And I'm looking forward to seeing where, because I do feel that there is a futuristic vision always there. And it's not something that is being built, it has been proven already.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll wish you success. And we want to be part of the journey and talking to our customers on the same thing, that we see the potential, we see the value in this product. We just want to make their life easy.
Yes, thank you, Moin. Thank you, Barry. Like I think, like look, this first of all, we are incredibly thrilled to have you as partners. You guys have been at the leading edge and the cutting edge to partner with us. As you said rightly, right? Like maybe it is the best kept secret. You are helping us make that secret more widely known in the marketplace. And I'm deeply honored to have you guys as partners on this journey with us, both on the technology and the product side, as well as on the go-to-market side. I think the most exciting days are only ahead of us.
Yeah. Thank you so much.